Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you joined me today. Sue, come out here. Our friends are here. You need to say hi to them. Sue and I are so happy to see you. Sue, did you see what was on the shelf behind you? Okay, turn around and look. It's a gingerbread baby. That's the story that we're going to read today. It's about a gingerbread baby. We're also going to make a gingerbread house using a paper bag. We're going to do gingerbread addition. We're going to do gingerbread shapes. We have a busy day ahead. So let's get started right away with our good morning song. Are you ready? Okay, me too. Here we go. Well, good morning once again. Sue's going to sit down because we also need to check on Fred. Fred, where are you, Fred? Oh, I see Fred. He's right there. We'll see if we can get him to come out and say hi. Fred, good morning. Good morning, Fred. We'll keep watching. He'll be out soon. Just keep an eye on the tank while we do our calendar time. The month is still December, of course, and let's reach into our can and see how we're going to count today. So it says we're going to jump up and down. That should be fun. Do you want to stand up and jump up and down with me as we count? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Today is December 23rd. What's today's date? December 23rd. And if you go up to the top, you can see that the day of the week starts with the letter F. So what day is it today? Today is Friday. Today is Friday. Let's sing our Days of the Week song.
Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, There's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday.
Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday.
Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week.
Well, it is time to check the weather. So look outside your window and see what your weather is like today. When I do like this with my microphone, shout out your weather. What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? What's the weather? What's the weather? What's the weather like today? It is today. It is out today. Well, let's dress Weather Bear. Weather Bear, it is cold. So we're going to put on some long pants for you and a coat and a hat. Can you remember what season it is right now? Winter. The season is winter. Well, that was our calendar and weather time. And now it's time for learning. Normally we have a letter of the day, but today we're going to talk about lots of letters. We're going to see if we can read some words, some CVC words. That's just a word that has a vowel in the middle. Okay, so I see a picture of a hat. And look at these gingerbread cookies. Let's figure out which letter we need at the beginning of the word hat. What letter says just first? Now, let's listen to the middle sound. At. What letter's in the middle? As in achoo. That's letter A. Ha. The ending sound is t, t, t. So that must be letter T. Hat. Hat. Very, very good job. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, so here's the next one. That picture shows someone taking a nap. So what letter makes this sound? N, 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 as in no. N, n, n. That's letter N. What letter makes this sound? As in achoo. Letter A. N. What letter makes this sound? Like popcorn. Letter P. So let's read this word. Nap. Nap. Good job. Okay, here's the next word. It looks like this little girl is all wet. So what letter makes this sound? W, as in wake up. W. W. What letter makes this sound? Eh? Letter E. T. What letter makes that sound? T. Letter T. So let's try to read this word. wet, wet, wet. Good job. Okay, so the next word is cup. What letter makes this sound? K, k, k. Letter C. What letter makes this sound? Uh. That's letter U. And what letter makes this sound? P, 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 like popcorn. P, 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 p. Letter P. So let's try to read this word. K, cup, cup, cup. Well, you did a great job. We spelled some words, and I think it was fun to make those gingerbread cookies and put them on the pan. Well, now it's time for some math. And for math today, we're going to be doing gingerbread addition. So we're going to be adding. So take a look at this. I see one gingerbread over here on this side and one gingerbread over on this side. So how many gingerbread altogether are there? 1, 2. So 1 plus 1 equals this one, okay? How many gingerbread can you see right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 gingerbread on this side. And how many gingerbread can you see right here? 1. So I want to add them all together. So how many gingerbread men all together are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 gingerbread men plus 1 equals 5. All right, let's do the next one. How many gingerbread men can you see? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now how many gingerbread men are here on this side? 1. So I want to know how many gingerbread men all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Okay, now let's do this one. Let's count the gingerbread men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 gingerbread men. And there are no gingerbread men on this side. That means there are 0. So what is 5 plus no more? It's still just 5. 5 plus 0 equals 5. Okay, let's do this one. How many gingerbread cookies do you see? 1, 2. I see 2 on this side and 1, 2. 2 on this side. How many gingerbread men all together are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. Last one. How many gingerbread men do you see? 1. And how many on this side? 1, 2. Count how many all together. 1, 2, 3. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. Wow, you are so good at that gingerbread adding. Well, I want to see if you can help me to remember some shapes. We're going to do some gingerbread shape review. So what shape is this? Circle. Good. What shape is this? This is a rectangle. What shape is this? This is a triangle. Triangle. What shape is this? This is an oval. Oval. What shape is this? It's a square. What shape is this? We may need to count the sides to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this shape has 8 sides. Just like an octopus has 8 legs. What shape is this? It's an octagon. Octagon. What shape is this? Diamond. Good. Diamond. This is the same shape as the one before, but we can also call a diamond a rhombus. Rhombus. What shape is this? It has 5 sides. Is a pentagon. Pentagon. And what shape is this? This is a trapezoid. It looks like a triangle without a top. Trapezoid. Trapezoid. What shape is this? It has 6 sides. This is a hexagon. Hexagon. Oh, what shape is this? That shape is a heart. And what shape is this? It's a star. I like that one. You did a great job. We reviewed all these gingerbread shapes. Yay! Well, it is time for some music. And for our music today, we are going to do the Gingerbread Man dance and freeze. Here we go.
I'm gingerbread man, I run as fast as I can, and I'm so happy and free. It's holiday time, and I'm feeling so fine, because I love to dance and freeze. Do the twist, do the twist, move and dance with me. Do the twist, do the twist, do the gingerbread man, dance and freeze. Do the chicken, do the chicken, move and dance with me. Do the chicken, do the chicken, do the gingerbread man, dance and freeze. Do the cha-cha, do the cha-cha, move and dance with me. Do the cha-cha, do the cha-cha, do the gingerbread man, dance and freeze. Do the floss, do the floss, move and dance with me. Do the floss, do the floss, do the gingerbread man, dance and freeze. I'm gingerbread man, I run as fast as I can, and I'm so happy and free. It's holiday time, and I'm feeling so fine, because I love to dance and freeze. Do
That was fun to do the gingerbread freeze for our music time. Well, now it's time for science. So we're going to head over to the science table. We're going to see, what will happen to a gingerbread if we put it in water? Will it sink? Will it float? Will it dissolve? Let's go over to science and find out. So here we are at the science table, and I have this bowl of water here. And I also have a homemade gingerbread cookie that I made. So I'm going to put it in the water, and we're going to see if we can investigate whether A gingerbread cookie will sink or float or maybe even dissolve. What's your guess? What do you think will happen when I put this gingerbread cookie in the water? Well, let's find out. It floats. So when I first put the gingerbread cookie in the water, it floats. He can swim. My little gingerbread cookie is swimming. So we may leave this cookie here for just a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll look in a little bit later and see if the gingerbread cookie is still floating or if it sinks later or maybe it even starts to dissolve. We'll come back and check on that. Well, it's time for art now, and I'm going to make a gingerbread house, and I'm going to use a paper bag. So I'm going to first open up the paper bag, and I'm going to stuff it with something. I just have some tissue paper, so I'm just going to take my tissue paper and kind of crumple it up like that, and I'm going to put that down into my bag. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fold down the top like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use some tape to just tape it, or even a stapler if you get a grown-up to help you do that. You just get a little piece of tape. This is my brand new tape, so let me get it going here. Okay, so I'm just taping my bag closed. So we have it. So far, so good. So the next thing we're going to do is I sent this printable to you. If you don't have it, don't worry. It's pretty easy to make one. It's just a trapezoid, and it just has some little designs on it. It's supposed to look like candy and icing, the things that you might use to decorate a gingerbread house. I'm just going to cut it out. This is going to be the roof. I'm just cutting along the dotted lines. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it right in the middle. Just like that. And this is going to be the roof of my gingerbread house. So I'm just going to take some glue and I'm going to glue that on. And I want to see, I'm going to make sure, because I have some little doors, I want to make sure, yep, I think it'll still fit. You might have to move your bag up a little bit taller if your door won't fit. So, but I think ours will be okay. So I'm just going to put some glue on this side of the bag and some glue on this side of the bag. And I'm just going to stick my roof on there. Now, you will probably want to color your roof before you put it on. It's just a lot easier if you color it first. I'm just going to go ahead and do it so that I can read a story to you and let you work on it. So I'm going to next put on a door. Just cut out the door. Remember, again, color it before you glue it onto the house so it'll be a lot easier. You can make this really super colorful. Look at all those dots. You can make all the dots a different color. You can make them red and green, just however you want to do it. So I'm going to put the little door right here. Oh, that is fun. And then there's some other things that you can use too. There are some little windows. You could add the windows on there. You can move the door, maybe put a window here or on the side or even on the back. And also there's a whole page of candy and a tree and candy canes and gingerbread man and girl. So if you want to, you can decorate your gingerbread house however you want to. That is our art project for today. And I think that will be a really pretty decoration. Well, it is time for story time, and we're going to read The Gingerbread Baby by Jan Brett. The Gingerbread Baby by Jan Brett. It was cold outside, but it was warm inside. A fine day for gingerbread, Maddie thought. Maddie's mother put the big blue bowl on the table and lit the stove. Maddie took down a worn-looking cookbook with old-fashioned writing on the cover. He opened it to the page that said, Gingerbread Boy. They measured and mixed. Maddie rolled the dough into the shape of a gingerbread boy and they popped him in the oven. Bake a full 8 minutes, no more, no less. Do not peek, said the recipe. Maddie listened to the clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. 1 minute, tick, tock. 2 minutes, tick, tock. 3 minutes, 4, 5. He couldn't wait any longer. He opened the oven door just to take a peek. Instead of a gingerbread boy, out jumped a gingerbread baby. He pranced around the big blue bowl. I am the gingerbread baby, fresh from the pan. If you want me, catch me if you can. Maddie's mother reached for the gingerbread baby to put him back into the oven, but he ran all around the kitchen. The door opened and in came Maddie's father. What's that delicious smell? He asked as the gingerbread baby tumbled through his legs and outside into the yard. He ran by the tabby cat. She twitched her tail and sprang at him. They rumbled and tumbled, but the gingerbread baby came out on top. He ran toward the garden wall. The dog caught a whiff of the tasty ginger and sniffed along behind him. But the gingerbread baby was halfway up when the dog caught up. He barked and barked as the gingerbread baby climbed over the wall. Maddie was still inside. He heard his mother and father yelling. He heard a cat meowing and a dog barking, and he heard the gingerbread baby shouting, Catch me if you can. Maddie opened up the cookbook for the second time. Meanwhile, the gingerbread baby wheeled on down the path and into the barn. The goats looked up as he somersaulted across their backs. The last one tried to catch him, but the gingerbread baby was too fast. Martha and Madeline were standing by the well when the gingerbread baby stopped to take a drink. They looked at each other and winked. Martha started to talk to him while Madeline tiptoed up behind him with the bucket, but they couldn't fool that gingerbread baby. He took a braid from Martha and a braid from Madeline and tied them in a knot and ran down the road. Back in the house, Maddie stirred and mixed and rolled the dough. He shaped it and put it in a pan and into the oven. Tick, tock, 8 long minutes. This time he didn't peek. I will catch him if I can, Maddie said to himself. As he was bouncing along, the gingerbread baby saw a farm wagon just ahead. He jumped in and settled down for the ride next to a mama pig. The smell of the gingerbread was too much for her. She tossed him high into the air, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. But the gingerbread baby twisted in the air and came down hard on her porky little snout. I'm the gingerbread baby, too quick for the mother and the father, too fast for the cat, the dog, and the goats, too clever for Martha and Madeline, too smart for the mama pig. Who's left? Catch me if you can. Feeling smug, the gingerbread baby strolled along by himself until he came to a bridge that crossed over to the village. Just as he got to the middle, he heard running feet behind him and saw a crowd of villagers ahead of him. The gingerbread baby was trapped. He jumped up onto the railing, backflipped through the air, and landed on a chunk of ice floating down the river. The ice bobbed along with the gingerbread baby dancing on top and singing in a loud voice, Look at me, what do you see? The best gingerbread baby ever, until his feet got cold and he jumped ashore. Who was that watching from the trees? It was the fox. He crept up behind the gingerbread baby, ready to eat him up. But the fox couldn't help himself and he licked his chops, smack, smack, The gingerbread baby heard him and ran as fast as he could. Just when the fox was catching up, the gingerbread baby saw the milk and cheese man with his can of milk. The perfect hiding place, he thought. He lifted the lid and lowered himself inside. He was so pleased that he sang at the top of his gingerbread voice, "Ha ha hee, you'll never gingerbread baby, catch me if you can." The milk and cheese man heard the gingerbread baby's voice. "Who's meddling with my milk?" he shouted, and he lifted the lid. But the gingerbread baby was ready. He jumped up and tweaked his nose. Now the milk and cheese man, the fox, the villagers, the mama pig, Martha and Madeline, the goats, the barking dog, the meowing cat, the father and the mother were all chasing the gingerbread baby and getting closer, and he knew it. The baby was not as peppy and proud as he had been. He sniffed a familiar smell and followed his nose into the woods. He couldn't believe what he saw. There, in the middle of a clearing, was a gingerbread house, frosted with sugar, covered with candy, and doors with peppermint handles wide open. The gingerbread baby clapped his hands with glee and ran inside. In a tick-tock-tick, everybody arrived in the clearing, but all they found were a few bits of frosting, a peppermint candy, and some crumbs. The father exclaimed, "The gingerbread baby has finally met his match." "I wonder who it was," the mother said. "Let's go home and tell Maddie." "Hello, Maddie," his father said when they got home. "We never did catch that gingerbread baby. All we found were some crumbs in the snow." "I see you've been busy," his mother said, looking at the gingerbread house Maddie was holding. "Too bad we never caught that gingerbread baby." "Too bad," said Maddie. Only Maddie could hear the tiny voice from inside the gingerbread house. "I'm the little gingerbread baby, lucky as can be, to be living in a house that Maddie made for me." The end. Well, we made a gingerbread house too, like Maddie did. Well, it's time for us to head back over to the science table and take a look at our own gingerbread man and see if it's still floating, or maybe it's sinking, or maybe it's dissolved. Let's go over and take a look. We'll take a look at our gingerbread baby, our gingerbread man, I guess. It looks like part of it's down and sank to the bottom, but part of it's up. The head part is still kind of up, but the feet are kind of sinking. I think if we let this wait long enough, it's probably all gonna sink, and it's probably gonna start dissolving because it's just made of sugar and flour. Well, I hope you had some fun today. I'll come back around and I'll tell you goodbye. Well, Sue and Fred and I hope that you had a fun day learning today, and we hope you have a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.